to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and again, as always, thanks so much for being here today. I hope you enjoy the show. Well, we're going to highlight Kidz Konnection, the Shoreline Theater Academy, which is based in Clinton, Connecticut, and Laura Attanasio, the Executive Artistic Director, is my guest today. And Laura, thanks so much for being here. So nice to have you again.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah.
Under different spirits, a little higher, a little brighter.
I know, and we'll talk about that. You were here last time and we went through a lot of information. Yes. But let's refresh the memory of the viewer. Why don't we go back to you and your background? Tell us about yourself.
All right. Let's see. I studied theater at college and went into mission-based community theater immediately while I was in NYU. And then went out to Minneapolis, Minnesota for many years, started a theater company there called Interact Center for the Performing Arts, which is still in business today under its leadership, Jean Calvert, which provides opportunities for individuals with disabilities to work professionally with individuals in the working community. And from there, in 1995, moved to Clinton, Connecticut, had my children, and started Kidz Konnection through raising my kids and discovering that there was a need for some extra theater opportunities for young people. So been doing that ever since.
Did you think growing up, and of course you went to Tisch, that you were going to be an actor all of your life and perform?
Oh no, and I'm not sure what we left off with the first time we met, but actually I was extremely shy. I was a very reserved young girl, and so my English teacher in my sophomore year of high school approached me and said, "I think you'd be a perfect match for performing." And I laughed. I didn't think that was at all the case because I was so shy. I couldn't even raise my hand to answer questions in class. And as teachers often know best, she persuaded me to audition, and I got the lead role, and I was hooked after that. So it got me out of my shell, and that is why I love to provide theater opportunities today, because I learned during that experience that that you can use the arts to build confidence and to develop into a true leader. So, yeah.
Tell us about the journey from growing up through Minnesota to Clinton. What brought you here to the Shoreline?
So I was born and raised to 12 in Rhode Island, and then my family moved to Richmond, Virginia, and then I, of course, went to NYU, where I, met my husband, although he was at University of Albany at the time, but we were working together during summers in the city, so that's how we met. And he had an opportunity at 3M to go to Minnesota. So I followed him out to Minnesota. That's how I ended up there. And it was the perfect place for a young woman like myself to develop into the person I am now today, because Minnesota is just full of beautiful people, very kind, very interested in making sure everybody feels that they can succeed. So it was a nice small city that I was able to really become the person I am today. And then when we were getting ready to have children, we both agreed that we wanted to come back near the East Coast, somewhere that would be close to his family in New York and mine in Richmond and Rhode Island. And an opportunity came for him to bring us back to Connecticut, and that's how I ended up in Connecticut. So we came back to raise our children together, and during that time, obviously I was still interested in pursuing theater and providing it to the community, and that's something I just started doing with my children. Yeah.
Tell us about Kidz Konnection. How did that come about?
Well, it started because my two daughters in the third and fifth grade at the time had asked me, we would love to do something outside of school that's theater related. And this was before Gina Netterman started her programs at the schools. She has an incredible offering at the elementary and middle school levels in Clinton. And so there wasn't that at the time. So my kids asked me, don't you have a degree in theater, and couldn't you do this? And I thought, well, okay, get some of your friends together and we'll do a small play. And our first play was Treasure Island, to which nobody showed up for the audition, and it was hosted by the dance studio that my daughters were in at the time. So then a young boy came for the audition, and he said, well, I said, well, I'm sorry, there's not enough kids to do the show. And he said, well, what if I could get some kids? And it's my favorite story, because I said, well, how many could you get? And he said, I think I could get 8 or 9. And I said, well, if you can get a small cast together, I would still do the show. And from there, we ended up with Joel Ridley, who was the young boy that came to that audition, my 2 daughters, and one large family, the Van Yperens, who to this day I'm blessed to have been my first family, because if it were not for them, like I say often, everybody helps everybody. That's what connections are. We wouldn't be the large company that we are today. So 5 of their kids were just at the right age, and they all kind of jumped in, and we did Treasure Island. And the next year after that, without any advertising, we were hosting at my church, the Clinton United Methodist Church, and we decided we would do Alice in Wonderland as our second show. And I pulled in the parking lot, and there was a line out the door and snaking around the building. We had so many kids just from word of mouth, because the first show went so well. So that's how Kidz Konnection was born.
What was your intention when it started to be born? I know you're mission-driven concept.
Right.
Tell us about that.
So we always, since when I went to NYU, I had realized very early on that I was not interested in fame or fortune, that I didn't really have an interest in pursuing the glitz and glam of theater, but that I wanted to have make a socially conscious impact positively in my community. So when we started Kidz Konnection, we immediately kept those roots by being part of the church, and now of course we're at the Academy, which is a building that's owned by the First Church of Christ. So we continue to have that mission-based leadership umbrella over us to provide young people, or anyone really, young people, adults, the opportunity to find and be inspired through the arts to hopefully go on and do something that they love. So right from the get-go, when my kids came to me and said, can we do a play together, I always had that base root, even from way back when I was at NYU. I knew that it wasn't just going to be a play just to be a play, that it had to have the feeling that we were making a difference in the world through the work we were doing together, and that the kids would leave feeling a sense of purpose. I want every child that comes through our doors to realize that they have purpose in this world, and the arts can help them find that.
How long has Kidz Konnection been around?
So we started, in the early days, 2004, 2005. 2006 was when we really kind of kicked off with our first shows at the church, the United Methodist Church in Clinton. And then in 2009, the United Methodist Church asked us maybe we should find another location because we were so big. And that's when we went and became a full nonprofit theater company, and basically went into our own location for the first time. The initial location was where Amy's Active Learning is right now. It's located at Chip's Pub. It's the plaza there. There's the Shoreline Vet, and then there's Chip's, and she's in the far corner in the basement. And we used to be there. And I don't know if you want me to talk about how eventually we just started to get too big for our, for the space. And the First Church of Christ contacted us and asked us, they noticed that we were similar in mission, to their mission statement. And they were looking for someone to be housed inside the Academy building. So it became a perfect match for all of us. And I can't say enough about the relationship. It's extremely positive. They are very warm and welcoming at the First Church of Christ, and we're very blessed to be part of the purpose-driven missions that they offer as well. So, yeah.
The building from the exterior looks quite old. Tell us about the building and what you've done on the inside.
Oh, yay! That's one of my favorite topics. So the building was built in 1801, and it was initially built to house a preparatory school for college, students to learn and go on to college. And and it was very successful for a while doing that. Some people like to say that it has its roots in Yale, but there's some debate about that, so I won't go into the debate. I just know that it was a prep school for students to go on to college. And then eventually it became all kinds of other things over the years. Longfellow wrote a poem, The Birds of Killingworth, and it's actually 2 lines of it are exactly about the academy. So it has some real rich historical significance to the town of Clinton and to Killingworth. And then later it kind of fell into a variety of different hands. It became a Grange for a while. It was a dance studio for a while. It was Youth and Family Services were in there for a while. So the town had acquired it for a period of time. And it eventually started to outlive its performance, and it started to go into disrepair. So it fell into a period of time where it was not housing anything. And the church stepped in, was able to regain the building as part of its property, and then that's when they invited us to rent. And when we moved in, we saw the need to continue to preserve and restore it. So right before the pandemic, we spent a year creating a capital campaign where people were able to make donations, and we held 7 fundraisers that the children themselves led and were able to get people to come and be part of. And we were able to raise about $30,000, $5,000 more than what we had initially targeted. And then more and more people from the community and the shoreline saw the need and saw our passion for restoring the building. And they continued to put money towards that. So we overall spent about $36,000 renovating the entire second level, and it is gorgeous. Tom Jump was our contractor. He's local, and he spearheaded the whole thing, came up with the visual concept. We did shiplap, which we took the drop ceiling away with the fluorescent lighting, and he restored the peak ceiling, so it's absolutely stunning. Of course, I would love anybody that wants to come visit us to come see the beautiful new space that we have, and it's perfect for intimate theater upstairs. So it's a shiplap ceiling, all that nice wood, kind of gives that old 1800s building feeling, but also the water, the ships, you kind of feel the boat, through the perspective of the peak ceiling. Put in the old-fashioned sconces all the way around, redid all the walls, redid a whole new floor, and then the Boy Scouts came in just a week and a half ago and gave us a brand new tier, movable pieces that are like a tier where we can bring up the audience. So there's 2 levels now for the audience to watch our shows. So it's perfect for intimate black box style theater, and I am so proud of our kids for being able to pull that off.
Well, let's hold that thought. I'm Deborah Gilbert. You are tuned into Arts and Entertainment. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Roofing scams become more common this time of year. Better Business Bureau's Scam Tracker is receiving reports of shady, free roof inspections. Homeowners should be on the lookout for these cons. The person may claim that their company is working on a neighbor's home and is offering inspections to those living nearby. If they don't find enough wear and tear to merit a whole new roof, they may fabricate it by tearing off shingles to mimic wind damage, or they may simply show you pictures of someone else's damaged roof. Beware of unsolicited offers, especially after a storm. Get your insurance company to inspect your roof to verify the need for repairs or replacements. Ask for references and check out their work yourself. There are 1,200 BBB accredited roofers in Connecticut. Find the right one by going to bbb.org to look at a company's business rating. There you can check for a pattern of complaints and read reviews, and also share your experiences by writing a review yourself to help others in their search.
And welcome back to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, thanks so much for being here. Laura, we were talking about summer theater. Why don't we talk about that right now?
Wonderful. All right, we offer free summer theater all summer long. And now that the pandemic seems to be, taking a back seat, hopefully, we have a little bit of an uptick, but we're outside on the lawn. Again, the First Church of Christ has been so gracious to be warm and welcoming and allow us to do that. And it brings visitors from all over. The purpose of it is to make theater accessible to everyone. So we offer a show for everybody. We have the Groove Crew concert series, which is once a month on a Sunday. And it's like a trivia, come listen to the music of a different theme or a decade, and then I MC it and I throw out questions. So it's a great trivia night for people. Families love to come and try to guess, I know the date of that song, or I know the details behind that era that we're doing, and they throw out answers, so that's always fun. And then we have the junior musicals, which are fabulous. They're 2 Fridays, every other Friday basically, in July and early August. And we're doing High School Musical Junior. That's our first one. And the second one is Newsies Junior. And this is great. It's a 1-hour program. So it's perfect for families with small children who love to come and watch musicals and would like to sit outside, maybe bring a picnic dinner and watch a great musical on the lawn in the beautiful downtown area. And then we offer our advanced level musical. That's sort of our big show in the summer. This year it's Footloose. It's a 2.5-hour production, and this is the one that is really 8th grade through adult are allowed to audition. So it's a real community experience, and this is probably our biggest, most popular show of the summer. It's going to be awesome. We have a lot of great talent coming back again this summer after the pandemic, so it's going to be filled with some really good, talented young performers. And it's Footloose. And that actually, just in case anyone wanted to know, that's the first Friday and Saturday evening of August. So whatever those dates are. And then we offer Shakespeare. That's really one of my near and dear to my heart. We've been doing that ever since I started in 2006. That's one of the one shows that we do every summer. And this year it's Macbeth. So everybody loves that. So it's going to be a great show. Another great, super talented group of young people are in line to perform that. And that will be the 3rd weekend of August. So I think it's like the 20th, 21st, 22nd, around there. Don't quote me on the exact date. But that 3rd weekend, we'd love to have people come and watch that. It's probably our second most popular show of the summer. So we have the Groove Crew, the 2 junior musicals, Cabaret, which is just a variety show experience, and then Footloose and Macbeth. So it's all summer, free. And this year, for the first time, we are grateful to the Connecticut Humanities, who has given us a significant grant to help fund that so that we can make those shows possible. A lot of those shows have a lot of expenses regarding licensing fees and the lighting and the sound needs and all of that. So that grant is going to help us continue this summer theater, as well as Families Helping Families has offered us a significant amount of money to fund one of our summer musicals. They're funding the Footloose program. And then also Clinton Insurance Center. So I just want to make sure our 3 funders get a little shout out today, because we could not do it without the support that we get from those grants and those individuals who are helping us.
Now, you've mentioned your calendar a little bit for the summer. Do you plan the year? What about fall of 22 or into 23?
Yes.
Have you thought about what's coming up?
Yes, we have our full year ready to go. 14 productions on the books. And in fact, anyone that's interested, they can go to kidzkonnectionct.org online, and we will be selling calendars. And we have all the dates of so we're doing The Miracle Worker in November, we're doing Mary Poppins, the full-length musical in November, we're doing, of course, we're working with the Stanton House next door for our Haunted Stroll again, where we take people into the cemetery in Clinton and we do a whole historical skits in there. We're doing for our spring musical, Cinderella, Rodgers and Hammerstein. And we're doing Grimm's Spectaculathon in May, and Laramie Project 10 Years Later in September. If you want a calendar, they're $10 a piece, and you could put it up on your wall, and then you would know it every month what we're doing. We're that busy, so it's a great thing to have if you'd love to know what theater is going on that's accessible to your families.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned the website. Let's not forget it. When the viewer does go and visit the website, what will they see?
When they go on the website, you will find initially a very quick overview in the homepage of what you might be interested in. So if you have children who are young, you have your Kidz Konnection block, you can go there and it tells you exactly season by season all the different classes and productions that are at that age level. Or there's the adult programs, you can click on that. You know, each genre is located on that home page. And then in the top bar, we have the different links. So if you go to auditions and you click on in the top subject bar, that'll take you to where all the audition information is. What shows we're auditioning next, what you need to do to be prepared if you're interested in auditioning for a show. You'll also see another subject title that says tickets. So you can click on that, and then that'll take you to all the shows and the dates and what's coming up that you might be interested in. And of course, it says in that link, when you click on it, that our summer shows are all free to the public. So that's pretty much it. You just click on what interests you, and it takes you straight to the page that should give you the information you're looking for. And of course, they can always reach out to me. My information is right there as well. You can call me anytime. I love talking to people. And you can email me as well. So
I know when you arrived that you were excited about your scholarship.
Oh, good.
Tell us about that.
Yes, I'm very excited. So since the pandemic, one of the great things that's happened is we've received a tremendous amount of support from our community. Members who are interested in helping build the arts in the town of Clinton and the shoreline. Also members who are interested in preserving the building that we're in, and individuals who would like to donate towards the future leadership and opportunities for young people moving on. So one of the things that we did last summer to thank our donors was to offer a donor appreciation night. This year we're doing West Side Story. It's open to the public. If they're interested, they can find the information on our website. But June 11th is our second annual Donor Appreciation Night. And on that night, we will be announcing our second annual Leadership Through the Arts Scholarship Award. And it's named after Samuel J. Reed, who received it last year. This award is basically there because of donors. So anyone who's ever interested in helping us help kids get to college, it doesn't have to be arts related. They do have to be a part of Kidz Konnection, however. They have to have shown a direct and positive impact in the day-to-day operations of Kidz Konnection through a period of years with us. So it is offered to Kidz Konnection students who would like to go on to college, but not necessarily for arts or acting. If they are inspired through our programs to get a degree in engineering, we support that. If they are inspired to get a degree in philosophy, we support that. We want kids to go and encourage them to continue their education beyond high school. So that's our mission. And this year is our second year, and we are offering, thanks to a generous matching gift from Families Helping Families, we're offering a $5,000 scholarship, which is really phenomenal. It's going to help one young person in our company get to college, and I am so happy that we can offer that to that young person. So it's a secret. We announce it on the 11th.
Well, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
What's the future look like for Kidz Konnection? You have any thoughts?
Yes, of course. I'm always thinking ahead. Obviously, we like to listen to our demographic and move and shape ourselves and adapt to the needs at the time. So we'll continue to offer our acting, singing, dancing lessons at the Academy, and continue to expand on our shows. But we're moving into advanced work with community members and college-age students. So we're hoping to have more intensive opportunities that would be really serious performance-based opportunities for people interested in really building their resume. So that's on the books for next year. We have 2 opportunities that you can find in our website if you're a serious performer and you're looking for that. We're also considering, we've been sort of reshaping our name. So we're branding ourselves as the Shoreline Theater Academy Kidz Konnection, to remind everyone that we are a full Academy of Performing Arts and not just offering programs to young people. And then, who knows? We're definitely getting, we're post-pandemic, we're back in full steam ahead, and we definitely feel ourselves, you know, the seams of our building getting a little tighter and tighter. And so, you know, maybe expansion means looking at having a satellite place down the road. I can't say. It's just something that I like to have a goal in mind for the future. So maybe that will happen. You asked earlier if it would be in Clinton. No, it would be like something, you know, further out. So we're not sure where, but that would be something I would like to consider. So
I'm excited for you.
thank you.
We're starting to run out of time.
Oh.
Any closing thoughts for the viewer or to the individual that is thinking about pursuing something in the arts? How do they get in touch with you? What are your advice for workshops? What should they be doing?
So if anyone is interested in the Shoreline Theater Academy Kidz Konnection, they can go on Kidz Konnection CT. It's K and K, Kidz, KONNECTIONCT. .org. And like I said, you can find all the information there, as well as how to email or call me directly, and I can walk people through that over the phone. I'm happy to. If they're just looking to get involved anywhere, there are a host of other places. Schools, public schools, obviously, are a great first start for any student that's young and interested but not sure where they fit yet. Public schools have wonderful programs, all of them. Guilford, Madison, Westbrook, Clinton, Killingworth, Saybrook. I know many of the different programs, and I've seen many of their shows, so that's a great place to start. If anyone would like to come see a show, like I said, Kidz Konnection is here. The Shoreline Theater Academy is here to make theater accessible to everyone. So again, just call me, and we will get you hooked up with whatever show you're interested in, whether it be something on the town hall stage, which we do twice a year, or something on our lawn that's free and accessible to everyone.
Well, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for having me.
And you've been tuned in to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host. And again, thanks as always for being here. Have a super day. I'll see you next time.